Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode on GTA 5 with more for gaming, driving around with, I think it's the Terabyte? Not sure, one of the big ridiculous trucks that has a habit of falling over on its own. Gets kind of pings off a mule, gets going again. It's just causing a little bit of chaos. You see, sometimes though the AI cars fight back. When you least expect it, you can be busy bullying a vehicle and then something gets thrown at you. That is an FQ. We're bullying an FQ2 and then one gets launched off the... We've seen cars get launched off there a couple of times. I don't know what causes it. It's just every so often it just decides, you know what, I'm going to chuck a car at your truck or whatever it might be. We stay with GTA 5 next with one of the weaponized vehicles, this one. As we were racing around. Now, they're in a police chase. They get the lock-on missiles armed, get battered around by something, go to shoot a police car that explodes and is millimetres away from wiping out the player's vehicle. They're not great options for slow-mo for this one, but it's a little bit jittery. But yeah, explodes the car, launches it over. I mean, there is literally if this has been a normal height of car, this is a very low slung car to begin with. I mean, normal height of car, that would have been completely wiped out. So yeah, there we go. Now Angus, up next on GTA 5. This I think was a testing with the booby gun race that we did a little while back. So the car's already pretty beat up, as you can see. Gets hit, goes for a big tumble. It's a pretty impressive roll, lands on its wheels. However, have you ever been pit maneuvered by a car on its roof? Yes, moving on races are going to cause mayhem. However, being pit maneuvered by a car actually on its roof is a first, I think. As far as I'm aware, anyway, that is a first for that. We're on to a Midnight Club 2 next. I presume some sort of cheat code to get the van. I don't remember that being a thing, but there we go. Very, very quick. Racing around the streets against a bike, as you do. Clips a curb and goes for a humongous roll. Does land it back on its wheels. Yes, even in Midnight Club. You know, curbs are dangerous. We've said it many times. It's quite possible to roll cars off of curbs, and sure enough, that is what happened there. Sparks up next on Dirt. Showdown is heading to pick up one of the collectibles when the Evo has had enough, really. It's just, yeah, it doesn't fit. The Mighty Wing is too much. I'm not actually 100% sure because it seemingly doesn't hit anything. It looks like it should have the clearance. I guess there's obviously a little bit of an invisible hitbox around there as the car tries to fit under. The game panics and just pings it, and the only way it could land is on its side. We head on to Dirt Rally 2 next. Now, we've seen a lot of rolls and land on the wheels. This one is quite impressive, though, for the poor car. This is from on board. It's not gone well for the Peugeot. It's still going, and onto the wheels. Not quite pointing in the right direction, but that is a tremendous accident. I mean, it's high speed, just loses the back end over the jump, and off we go down the road. It is a vicious roll for that one, and just one more for good luck before it comes to a stop. I've seen a fair amount of rolls on there. It might be one of the most spectacular. There was a slow-mo included with this. I think I counted. I think it was 15, 16 rolls at least in... in that. It's a ridiculously big crash. We move on to Project Cars 2 next with the Potion Seller racing in the sort of snowy, icy conditions with a Civic. Now, they get things a little bit wrong. They brush the wall, the car kind of bubbles along and they can't get it under control and eventually end up spinning and then hit a wall, and then the Civic's had enough. It kind of acts like one of those cartoon balloons that has been released and it's just pinged off towards the mountains. Sure, go over that way. I mean, the initial mistake was tiny and the game decided to punish it by launching the vehicle to the stratosphere. Uncle Salad up next on Wreckfest was racing some harvesters around an arrow circuit while driving a lawnmower, and funnily enough it didn't work. Who could have guessed it? The harvesters blocked the track. Yep, that's I would not be wanting to try and drive my lawnmower into that mess of vehicles. Still, the harvesters turn up. Eventually, though, after, well, everything is stuck and stricken here. Thankfully for the lawnmower, it is small enough that should there be a gap somewhere around here, it might actually be able to fit through, and sure enough, there is a tiniest of gaps that will let the lawnmower go through. So the harvester tried their very best to completely break the track, and they did not quite succeed. They did a damn good job, though. Unky Zentar up next on Test Drive Unlimited 2 here, minding their own business, driving down one of the many sort of dirt rally roads when he spots a truck, or is it a tractor? There's a tractor, I think, doing what it definitely shouldn't. It's floating away backwards across the water? I don't know what set it off, but something obviously has. It's definitely not supposed to be going in that direction, though. Test drive, everybody. Still weird things. Snake 55 Wildcat up next on Grip has fired a rocket after the vehicles ahead. then notices something very peculiar. The rocket doesn't work properly. So it goes chasing off after the vehicles ahead, trying to explode them, to try and slow them down, and then it stops. The player goes back to investigate it because they notice when they drive under it. What's happened? It looks like one of my Kerbal Space Program's creations. It's definitely not doing what a rocket should. It is violently spinning around and flipping around and making shape. That's not how homing missiles are supposed to work. It's got very confused. It does explode on the spot. Definitely not how rockets work. We go next to a beam with a street race where you really don't want to bump the cars ahead. It's a small bump that starts this all, however it gets considerably worse when hit by a roamer and then much worse over a jump, backwards into a fence and everything's on fire. Street racing is dangerous at those sort of speeds. Street racing is very dangerous. And finally we have Ben on rFactor. So this is with the mod kind of, I think, like super stocks or stock saloons, something along those lines, around a short tarmac oval. The thing is, this fence that the camera is currently behind is a little bit nasty. If you happen to clip it, bad things happen, as first of all the angler finds out, something else hits it and goes round. Now everything is ploughing into the side of those stricken cars, trying to avoid it. So there's 2 cars down that have caused complete and utter mayhem. Then another car runs wide and just brushes the fence, is now on its roof. Of course it is, for good luck. It does stay on its side. I thought it was going to fall back onto its wheels. It doesn't. Something else is out a little bit wide. There's a bumper twitch, and another one is... Don't mess with the catch fence like that. It is going to ruin your day. The car on its side has come back down or got reset. I'm not sure which. But yeah, that's a nasty fence. You don't want to run wide. It will cause all sorts of issues. But there we go. That is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via a Google Forms. There'll be a link to that in the description of this video. And on there, you can find all the rules and how it works. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.